So this video is going to show you how to set up the Neposmart Outdoor Camera in any situation. There are two ways of connecting your outdoor camera, wireless or wired. What you'll choose depends on the environment where you install the camera. Choose wireless if the signal is strong and there's a power outlet nearby. This is generally the easier option since you don't have to deal with running an Ethernet cable to your router. You can use certain mobile apps to test the strength of your Wi-Fi for places you want to mount the camera. But maybe the Wi-Fi signal isn't very strong and there isn't a convenient power outlet nearby. Then choose wired, which gives a more reliable connection. I'll first show you the wireless method. First, screw in the Wi-Fi antenna. Next, let's power on the camera. Connect the adapter to a wall outlet, and connect the cylindrical end to the cable labeled power. Notice that when you power the camera, the yellow light on the Ethernet connector will turn on. The camera will start initializing, so wait until it stops rotating. Locate the WPS button on your router. It will either say WPS or have this symbol. This is the way for the camera to connect to the router without the need for an Ethernet cable. Press this WPS button for a second or so. It may be different for your router, but in this particular model, the WPS mode is indicated by this blue light flashing. Press and hold the camera reset button for about 3 seconds, but do not go over 5 seconds. From here, you're ready to add the camera into the Neposmart app. You can now skip ahead to when I talk about the app, or continue watching for the next method. The second method is a wired connection. The most popular solution that people turn to is called Power over Ethernet. The reason is, with Power over Ethernet, you don't have to find a wall outlet because the power can be sent through the Ethernet cable alone. This means for a wired connection, you'll only have to deal with one cable instead of two. However, you'll need an additional device called a PoE injector. This particular injector has 4 PoE ports, which has space for 4 cameras. First, we're going to power on the injector. Then we're going to get our router and connect an Ethernet cable from one end of the router to one of the ports on the injector that is not labeled as PoE. This is basically connecting the injector to your network. Then we're going to take another Ethernet cable and connect to the PoE port of the injector. Now connect the other end of the Ethernet cable to the camera. Notice that this one Ethernet cable is both powering on your camera and connecting it to the network at the same time. The camera will begin to initialize, so wait for it until it stops rotating. At this point, you're ready to move on to the Neposmart app. There is a third option, which is a conventional Ethernet cable connection, no PoE. First, plug in an Ethernet cable to your router, then the other end to your camera. You'll need to power on the camera just like in the wireless setup. This involves plugging the adapter into the wall outlet and the cylindrical end to the power cable of the camera. And just like the other methods, wait for the camera to stop initializing when it stops rotating. Now we're going to add the camera into the Neposmart app so you can access it from your phone. This is the main screen of the Neposmart app where you can view and control your devices. So let's add our camera now. Tap on Add Device. Now we're going to tap on Search Devices. The app will now search for all Neposmart devices connected to your router. And there's ours right there. So we're going to tap on the camera, which will automatically populate the device information fields. From here you can change the name of the camera. And now we have to enter the password to access this camera. Every camera has a username and password associated to it. Since this was just newly added, then the password by default is 123456. Once you finish typing the password, tap Add in the top right corner. The camera is now added to your main screen. However, before we view the video, we have to do something very important. We need to change the username and password to something different from the default. So let's tap on the eye next to the camera to bring up the device information. Next, let's go to device settings. And in device settings, let's go to user settings. These are 3 sets of username and passwords that give you varying control over your camera. And they're all in the default, so we strongly recommend you to change all of them so that nobody else can access the camera except for you. Once you've done so, tap Done, which will bring up a dialog box of all the changes that you've made. If you forget, then check if you have any other devices connected to your camera. If not, you'll have to factory reset back to the default. Once you've finished, tap OK. Now all that's left is just to view the live video. So I'm just going to tap on the camera. And just wait for it to quickly connect. And there you go. That's video coming from the outdoor camera that we just set up. Now that the camera is connected to your network, the next step is to mount the camera. So let's head outside.